Uh,
Oh, baby, the intro, it never gets old. Probably because, we're still in single-digit episodes. Ladies and gentlemen, happy Monday morning, ladies and gentlemen. We're here with GPS.
your football navigation system.
Let's get it, the Grossi Perna Show. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Tom mother-loving Grossi. That is Brandon frickin' Perna. And boy, oh boy, do we have a show for you today because we got so much to talk about, to break down. Week 2 was insane. And listen, I feel like, I'm very happy football is back. I feel like we have gone through this for more than 2 weeks. Like there's been so many games that are like so good or coming down to the last minute. Like I feel like we've gotten so much good football in such a short amount of time.
It's controversial, I think, a little bit. Because I want to talk about a question I had in my brain. Does the bad officiating actually make the games better? Like, we all hate seeing it while it's happening.
Yeah.
But it feels like all the big games are coming down to the wire. Even games that looked like blowouts, like Tennessee, Seattle.
Yep.
Tennessee allowed to get back in that game, maybe because of some bad calls. We do have more surprising upsets this week we're going to get to.
Oh, yeah.
Some week 1 overreactions being put to bed, shot dead. So we're going to get into our overreactions. Our upsets, our biggest upsets from this week. Maybe that's the Chiefs losing in prime time to the Ravens. Broncos, Raiders atop the AFC West. Oh my gosh. And Tom, yesterday I came up. So we've got GPS, which is Grossi Perna Show.
Yeah.
Some people were calling it Grossi Perna Streams.
Ooh.
Which I liked.
I like that.
Because the tagline would be Grossi Perna Streams, never cross streams. But then we don't have the football navigation system. So I'm not saying we do change it, but it's out there just in case.
We would need an entirely new intro. John would be like, "Are you kidding me?" Like after I made this thing for, but that's the thing. I feel like there's so many different directions you can go with. Like we could do something very calming, like a rushing brook. We could do a Ghostbusters theme in which you're not crossing the streams, but in the end, you should cross the streams because that's the only way that you win in the end.
Yes.
Crossing the streams was the way to do it all along, folks. All along.
I didn't cross streams while using DraftKings Sportsbook this weekend. Oh, the Texans, you
buddy.
Oh my God. If
I literally
doesn't get hurt, I think I had a chance to win that bet.
Oh man. I was like, there's no way. There's no way. And folks, in case you don't know what we're talking about, Brandon Perna put out a tweet last week, basically saying if this tweet gets 1,000 likes, I will bet the line on the Texans. So Perna threw 410 smackaroonies on the line.
Money line.
Oh yeah. The baby we're reusing some of those diapers this month. And that game for a while was close.
It was. Tyrod got hurt and everything, went to crap after that. But DraftKings, giving all new customers a deposit bonus of up to $1,000 when you use code GPS. DraftKings basically sponsored this show before ever seeing it. They're like, yeah, we got you guys. So if you want to support this show and you want to do sports betting, no pressure. Do it through DraftKings. Our link's in the description. Use GPS. You're getting a deposit bonus of up to $1,000. That is insane. That they're not doing that for everyone. Just us and probably some other guys, but not everyone.
Not everyone.
Certainly not everyone.
No.
DraftKings official partner with the NFL.
It's true.
And they're giving new customers $200 in free bets instantly when you bet $1 or more on any football game. So code GPS, DraftKings, do it. The louder I say do it, I think
Shia
the
LaBeouf.
more I intimidate people to do whatever.
So let's break down some of the biggest upsets. I figured we'll do a little tit for tat, if you will.
Sure.
A little tit for tat. So
I'll be tit, please.
Okay, that's not a problem. I'll be tat. Does that mean I have to get a tattoo after?
You have to get a tattoo of a tit.
Damn it! I definitely drew the short straw there. Let's talk about, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about first. We mentioned it before. The Tennessee Titans knocking off the Seattle Seahawks, making them in last place in the NFC West.
Yeah.
Which I could not be happier about. And you know what? I gave him a chance. I'm never going to like the Seahawks. Don't get me wrong. I'm never going to like them. But I was like, you know what? Let me put on the game. I was eating some dinner in between streams. Okay. I was doing that. And I was like, let me watch this and see what happens. And as soon as I turn it on, the announcers with Russell Wilson there as they have the ball near the end of the game is like, oh, we know that we've had some famous Hail Marys in this stadium. And I'm like, shut your mouth. You didn't.
Don't do it to me.
It was a Hail Mary. It was and then my hatred got reignited like a Bunsen burner. So watching that game, the Seahawks were running away with it.
Yeah.
In terms of like time of possession, Russell Wilson was playing real well. Chris Carson had himself a damn nice game. It's only 31 yards, but he got 2 scores. Tyler Lockett, holy crap, man. We had this conversation on this show. It's like he's a feast or famine guy. And he had an amazing week.
See, I disagree. I should have disagreed with you then.
You should have disagreed hardcore.
He's pretty reliable week in and week out, is what I was going to say.
Yeah. Well, I
was going to say he's probably going to have 178 yards this week, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Now
you could have. You could have. 178, 1 touchdown. So they were rocking, right? Yeah. Derrick Henry, while I was watching the Cowboys-Chargers game, I was watching that. People were in my chat complaining and ripping Derrick Henry. I drafted him over like in the first round. He isn't doing diddly squat for me. Ba 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 ba. And I'm like, oh man.
182 yards, 3 touchdowns.
And then he's just like, okay. 182.
He leads the league in rushing right now, Derrick Henry, by the way.
Yeah.
After a not great week 1.
He didn't have a great week 1. And he also had 55 receiving yards on top of that. That man came out like a wrecking ball and was like, all right, I'm gonna destroy everyone. Like, I am just going to pummel the Seattle Seahawks into the ground. And listen, the game ended in overtime, but honestly, I think it almost ended on a safety.
Oh, yeah. Russell on the 1-yard line, saved by the refs a little bit there, I think.
Oh, yeah, which we'll get into all that controversy. So why is this such an upset? Well, because the Titans got the pants kicked off of them by the Cardinals last week in week 1. And then the Cardinals also struggled with the Vikings in week 2, which is why, folks, I'm telling you, week 1 is just week 1. The Saints looked unstoppable. I mean, I'm sure there's someone out there that put them number 1 in their power rankings. Well, that's a wake-up call today.
Oh, Panthers looked good. Panthers.
I'm
not going to call that an upset because
meow.
I've got some fun stuff to do with the power rankings tomorrow. So thank you, Carolina Panthers. I just wanted to say the one thing we thought the Seahawks might have last week, week 1, was a good defense. And don't get me wrong, when the Titans offense is clicking, they are hard to stop.
Yes.
but over 500 yards allowed by Seattle. That's going to lose you some football games.
Just a bit.
Some taunting penalties, roughing actually didn't affect the game as egregious as they were because Seattle, I think, got stops after both of those penalties. But 500 yards allowed by Seattle. Guess which defense was the stingiest yesterday?
Was it the Denver Broncos?
Second. Actually, it was the Carolina Panthers.
Was it the Panthers?
To 125 total yards. The Panthers. Man, they look real. That defense, if it is legit, if Sam Darnold escaped not only Adam Gase, but inherited a good defense and the White Lightning himself, Christian McCaffrey, I like the Panthers' chances to maybe give the Bucks a loss.
Ooh.
I didn't think that was going to happen, but maybe if that defense is good, they can slow down that Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense.
They've been investing. They've been investing in that defense. What was it like this draft? But the draft previously, like wouldn't they all go defense? They were just like, no, like we're not even going to look at the offensive side of the ball. We don't have a quarterback. We don't care. We're just going defense.
Yeah, it's why they had the youngest defense like in the NFL last year. I believe it was first or second youngest. So that became sort of like a narrative throughout the season where it's like, yeah, they're going to make some mistakes, but you could see that there was talent on that roster. It just takes a little time to develop.
And Darnold's look good.
Like John Gruden taking about 5 years as a veteran coach to develop the Raiders.
It's fine. It's fine.
But not the timeline you want, but that's another upset for me. The Raiders beating the Steelers at home. I didn't pick it. I didn't believe. And now I've got to.
Do you believe now?
I've got to start crediting the Raiders, which I hate. It's like,
are they going to be in your power rankings?
Favorite thing to do. We'll have to see.
I mean, because last week I know that there was a lot of hesitation because we talked about that game and they were like, oh, the Raiders should have lost that game a whole bunch of times. And like, it shouldn't have even gone into overtime and like all these things. But yeah, look at that. Jameis Winston, 2 interceptions, 111 yards, ran only for 19. And listen, Alvin Kamara, by the way, I had him in fantasy.
Yeah. I did him in one of the DraftKings daily tier lists, and that was the wrong choice.
Oh, yeah, that wasn't.
I think I was debating between him and McCaffrey, too, which, boy, did I screw up.
I picked the wrong one.
But you hold Kamara to 5 yards as a defense. I think you can beat anybody if that is who you really are. So shout out Panthers. I started to move on to the Raiders Steelers, but
it's okay. I want to highlight something about how we're both geniuses because both of us said that the Panthers were a sleeper team. Mm-hmm. Both of us said this.
We both said it for sure.
We both said it. It's on tape. It's on recording on the internet, on the World Wide Web.
I'm pretty sure in my pick'em league, I did pick Carolina to win that game.
I did
after I put the Saints as the best team in the league.
Yes, you did. Yes, yes, you did. But now with that logic, the Panthers are the best team in the league.
Yeah, Jameis Winston, a QB rating of 26.9.
Sounds like Aaron Rodgers week 1.
Yeah, worse than Rodgers. Rodgers was in the 30s at least.
Oh my God. Yeah. So, but yeah, you moved on to the Raiders Steelers. That was a crazy game too. And we're going to get into the injuries and all that craziness. But
so many quarterback injuries this week.
Oh, yeah. Mercy. Well, on the Steelers, we got T.J. Watt injured, which is not really so great.
All right, T.J. Odafe.
Yeah, I saw T.J. that.
Away from the Chiefs.
I see what you did there.
That's the wordplay we've been waiting for.
The Raiders, their defense in like the second half was like, hey, what's going on? We're gonna do it. And like you look up the Steelers stats and like it goes down to the offense. Like the offense was rough. They were just rough to look at. And everyone was like, guys, did you see Najee Harris's stiff arm? And yeah, and that was really good. And that was really cool. And I was like, it's very Derrick Henry-esque. But my man ran for 38 yards and that's it.
Yeah, it's like the Steelers had an entire offseason to address one glaring problem, their inability to run the football.
Yeah.
And they not only didn't do it, sure, they drafted Najee Harris in the first round. Their offensive line, you could argue, got worse. And they throw it 40 times again this week with Ben Roethlisberger, who was under pressure a lot. So the big concern with the Raiders would be their ability to get after the quarterback. Their pass rush looks like it might be pretty good. Like Max Crosby, he's been good the whole time he's been with the Raiders, but he hasn't had like help.
Yeah.
And now it looks like that defense can get after the QB a little bit. So that scares me as a Broncos fan if they can get consistent pressure. But the Steelers, when we talk to Urinating Tree on Thursday, I am sure he's going to have some things to say. And,
honestly, there's only 4 words that really encompass what this game was. And that is Henry Ruggs go fast.
Yeah, Derek Carr's pass to Ruggs on that deep touchdown, it was very pretty. It was prettier than Derek Carr's eyes after he's sat in the makeup chair for 2 hours before the game.
Yeah.
I want to hate Derek Carr, but I can't. I actually really like Derek Carr. I like Hunter Renfrow. I love the Darren Waller story.
Oh, yeah.
I just hate the Raiders. So there's all these good stories on their team. And John Gruden's just like a character who I also like, but I like him when he's just a terrible head coach.
Yes.
And it's like none of those things are going my way right now.
No, it's not. But you're both sitting atop the AFC West, and the Chiefs and the Chargers are in the basement. They're basement buddies.
Chargers, Chiefs. First time since 2016, Tom, that the Chiefs haven't owned at least a share of first place in the AFC West. So momentarily, their reign of terror is over. So suck it, Kansas City Chiefs fans, every person who lives in Kansas or Missouri. Oh God, your ratings just plummeted in the Midwest. Don't care. I have waited. I had to pay with the Super Bowl win.
It's true.
But 2-0. Broncos Raiders, just like we all thought.
I mean, I think you could also take a look at the Ravens Chiefs game and count that as an upset. I think because holy crap. And first of all, hell of a game. That was so much fun. And when that game starts, 50 seconds into the game, the Chiefs are up 7-0 because of a Lamar Jackson pick 6. They run it, and I was like, okay, Lamar Jackson runs it. I was like, you probably should have handed it off there because the running lanes were open basically all that first half. And then overthrows a receiver and then throws a blatantly terrible pick 6, gone. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's not good. Lamar Jackson struggled
early
in the beginning of that game. Struggled. He threw those 2 picks. They weren't good. He threw into triple coverage at one point, and I was just like, why even make that decision? But he would not be the only QB in that game to throw a bad interception, which was just hold on to that football. Just don't throw that ball. And that's one Patrick Mahomes, who threw his first interception in the month of September. Which you got to think that the announcers jinxed him so bad. They had that graphic up that he was 11-0, that he had 100 crazy passer rating. He had 35 touchdowns and no interceptions. Well, can't use that graphic next year.
Yeah, it had to happen. He had to do it. The Chiefs had to lose in September. Okay. Couple things. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Is it time to call him a bust, Kansas City? First round running back on a team that also, like the Steelers, underutilizes their running back. Just 13 carries. One of those carries, the Jason Owe punch-out fumble that cost Kansas City the game. Love it. Lamar Jackson. I just love watching that guy play football. I love that he plays the QB position untraditionally.
Yep.
He is a phenomenal athlete. And when the Ravens just commit to running first, I enjoy watching it because it's different. There's no other team can do what they do. So I like to see something that isn't the same. Here's the guy I wanted to shout out. Okay, Tyreek Hill. Look at this. 3 catches, 14 yards.
Thank God.
When is the last time a team held Tyreek Hill to 14 receiving yards and he wasn't hurt or something? The Ravens, where's this corner? Where's the corner that was covering him? Anthony Everett.
The Avid brothers.
Anthony Everett, I believe, was charged with covering Tyreek Hill for most of the evening. And he did a hell of a job. So, sure, Lamar Jackson forgot that Tyrann Mathieu was a defender he shouldn't throw the football to early.
Honey Badger don't care.
But like Tennessee and some of these other great games we've seen, the Ravens, they dug themselves out of a hole and then beat a very good team.
Well, like that, this is the thing, and I'm very happy that the Ravens won just for the content. But like, I'm happy they won. But like, there is a part of me that's like, damn, like if Gus Edwards was healthy, like they could have been like, because it's a focus on that run game, and they could just run with anybody. Like Latavius Murray still got a touchdown. Like again, he just shows up and he's like, "What do you want me to do? Run the ball hard? Okay, cool. I'm just gonna run the ball a few times. I'm gonna get a touchdown." That's the way that it's gonna work. But you have like it looked in like the first quarter there was gonna be no defense whatsoever. They're like, "Oh, it's gonna be this kind of game where it's just like gonna go back and forth," and then it turned into a defensive battle. And then I was like, "Okay, I don't really know what's going on here." When you're making that guy wait, but yeah, I think. I think it was crazy to see the Ravens bounce all the way back against an explosive Chiefs offense and come away. And by the way, that 4th down call, which now is like legendary, and Harbaugh like running over and it's just like, Lamar, you want to go for it? Okay, cool.
Yes, coach.
And I already got DMs. They were like, oh, look. It's a head coach who asks his star QB if he wants to go for it on 4th down. And I was like,
yeah, I would agree with you there, but I've seen my Broncos convert 4 or 5 4th downs this season so far. One was a 4th and 7 week 1. So welcome to the 4th and Fangio club, Mr. Harbaugh. Here's a stat in this game. I'm going to call it stat of the century. Devonta Freeman.
Yeah.
His longest rush was 31 yards. He only had 2 carries. He managed to finish with 29 yards. So Freeman, who I thought it was in my knowledge bank that he did sign with the Ravens, but honestly, I forgot about him. And then he like his 31-yard run, he looked like he was
great
with just tons of speed. I was like, who's that guy? Like, Devonta Freeman.
Yeah.
Like, whoa. And then they only gave him 1 more carry after that for a loss. So
they have like 16 guys back there, including their QB. And it's just like everybody can run it. Like I guarantee you, Perna, like if you like had a sign with the Ravens, they're like, we're gonna give you at least a couple carries.
Yeah. And I would probably end up
Le'Veon Bell. He's the only one. They signed him to the practice squad. They heard the rap album, and you're like, you're staying down there, buddy.
Yeah, how crazy is that? How shitty does Bell have to be to not get into the Ravens like carousel of running backs?
Oh yeah. Now we talk about a bunch of upsets. One of the things that was pretty problematic, besides officiating, of course, was also the amount of injuries that occurred this week.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of them. By the way, breaking news. So Tua underwent further tests this morning on his bruised ribs, and Tom Pelissero reports that it didn't reveal any major issues. They were negative. So it'll all be about pain tolerance and functionality moving forward. And they will be playing a team that we just talked about and their defense being good. And that is the Raiders. Because the Dolphins got the bejesus slapped out of them.
Oh, my God. 0 points for Miami.
0.
I get that Tua gets hurt. But you got to do something. You've got Jacoby Brissett as your backup. Like, that's a very capable backup QB. So maybe we start keeping an eye on the Buffalo Bills defense as being a dominant force. Maybe. Because Josh Allen didn't play great still. They ran the ball a little bit better. But it's like both of their games, their defense has kept them in it. Yeah. All right. They needed to bounce back victory. They got it. So I'm gonna start watching that Buffalo Bills defense. Yeah. And because I think Josh Allen and that offense will click. I don't know.
Because they didn't look amazing against the Dolphins. And again, the Dolphins have a good defense. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, Dolphins do. Yeah. I mean, not good enough to score any points for your pathetic goose egg. Is that the first shutout of the season? The Dolphins?
I think it is. Man. I mean, and honestly, I know it wasn't a shutout, but what Tom Brady did to the Atlanta Falcons,
overrated. Oh! Tom Brady threw a touchdown to Gronk.
5 touchdowns.
A 1-yard touchdown to Mike Evans.
5.
Oh, the Buccaneers defense scored 2 pick sixes in the fourth quarter. Matt Ryan, get it together, man. The sad thing is the Falcons clawed back.
They did.
They got that game within 4.
I was actually like, oh my God, are they going to do this? Because on this show, I said, we were talking about crazy things and you're talking about the Texans winning. I was like, watch the Falcons put up a fight. Like, watch them actually do it. And they did. They did.
And then 2 pick sixes.
And then 2 pick sixes. I was actually happy with Matt Ryan's fantasy performance, and then he threw those 2 pick sixes, and I was like, and it's gone. Yeah. And it's gone. But let's so take a look at just some of the key injuries, Brandon Perna. Where's some that stood out to you?
Well, you mentioned Tua.
Yeah, mentioned Tua.
Tyrod Taylor, who we briefly talked about, got a hamstring issue. That looks to be one of the more serious injuries out of the QBs because Andy Dalton went down. I just saw that they confirmed he did not tear his ACL, and Carson Wentz got hurt. No surprise there.
Apparently, that's multiple injuries, by the way. I saw that this morning.
Wentz,
that it's not just an ankle injury. Like, he has multiple injuries.
It looked bad the way he went down. He was was he being sacked by or being tackled by Aaron Donald? I believe Aaron Donald had him by the legs, and Carson was trying to throw it away, and his body just contorted. And his knee and ankle stayed put. Yeah, never good for the body. Baker Mayfield. If we have an Iron Man award, maybe give it to him because apparently his shoulder popped in and out of place. Dude missed 0 snaps. Browns win. They get their bounce back victory.
I'll do it myself. It's fine.
I don't need this. I'll just hand off to Chubb.
Yeah, it's true.
Jarvis Landry gets hurt.
Landry.
Odell still hasn't played. Landry goes down. He's like the glue, I think, in the passing game. Just that reliable receiver.
Oh, Landry? Yeah.
Broncos lost Bradley Chubb and Josie Jewell. Don't know how serious those injuries are, but Josie Jewell was playing very well. Linebacker, crushing it. He was having a game. It was like, oh man, and then he got hurt making a great play too, which sucks. Dalvin Cook sprained ankle. TJ Watt goes down in the Steelers game.
That's big.
And here's one, Tom. The Buccaneers lose Jaden Mickens.
Oh, not Jaden Mickens.
I don't know what the Bucs are going to do without Jaden.
Talk about the glue that holds it all together. I don't know. At that point, what do you even do? Honestly, you just end your season right there.
I would just retire if I was Tom Brady. Save myself the embarrassment. I think Mike Evans tweaked something in that game too.
He did. Mike Evans did get a little injury there. And then the Ravens, who are here's my theory, okay? You remember years ago when the Baltimore Ravens took on the San Francisco 49ers in the Super Bowl, and there was a power outage?
Yes.
Yeah, all power went out or whatever.
A conspiracy.
Yeah, the Ravens were crushing the 49ers, and then the 49ers crawled back and whatever, right? I'm starting to think that at that moment, some deal with a blood demon was made while those lights were out. And they were listen, in a few years, I'm coming for all your running backs. Because the Ravens They've lost all their running backs. The 49ers, they got no more running backs.
Trey Sermon got a concussion. Elijah Mitchell, shoulder injury.
Gone.
Jermichael Hasty, ankle.
Gone.
And I still think the 49ers and the Ravens can run the football.
And Mostert's out for the season. He already got hurt.
Yeah, so have the 49ers now surpassed the Ravens as the most injured running team?
Again.
What free agent running backs are available?
Todd Gurley.
Oh, Todd is still out there. That's man.
Right? Call him up. It's just so crazy. Him and Le'Veon Bell, literally, you go back 5 years ago and they're dominating. And now it's just nope, now they're not there anymore. But yeah, I mean, the 49ers, I don't like the 49ers, but I kind of feel bad for them. Oh, Frank Gore is still available. Let's get that reunion. You know that man.
With Gore.
He said he would be ready to go if the 49ers called him up, and I am all about it. Yeah. He will put up at least 150 yards against the Packers run defense. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Gore, he said he's been training to box. So he's been boxing.
He's going after Logan Paul or
probably. He wants that big payday.
Yeah.
We want Gore to play with his son. So please, 49ers, give him a chance.
I'd love it.
Thank you for that big $20 European donation, by the way.
Constantine.
Yes. From Germany. Constantine Kober. Hey, I'm from Germany, don't you know? Dang.
Well, you just made sure you're never getting a donation from Germany ever again. But Brandon Perna, before we jump into all the god-awful officiating that we saw.
Do we do something that's not god-awful?
Yes.
DraftKings Sportsbook. Bow, 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 bow. Oh. Give us a song, DraftKings. Use code GPS when you're signing up at DraftKings Sportsbook. Basically, if you do that, they're going to match your deposit. They're going to give you a bonus of up to $1,000. So if you put a first-time deposit of $1,000, they match it. That, I think, technically makes you a millionaire. So who wouldn't want to be a millionaire? DraftKings, download their Sportsbook app because they've got same-game parlays, which I lost my Broncos parlay yesterday. They've got player props, live betting, and so much more. I'm basically on 5 bets on the season. I'm 2 of 5. Both were my free bets from DraftKings. So,
lost $410 with them yesterday, but that's neither here nor there.
Whatever. And if you don't have DraftKings yet, don't miss out because they're giving all new customers $200 in free bets instantly when they bet $1 more on any football game. Any football game, including the Jaguars, the Texans now, who look bad again. DraftKings is America's top-rated sportsbook app. It's safe, secure, reliable, so you can get your money out of there when you want to. Some of those sports books, you don't know where they come from. DraftKings is going to take care of you. So use code GPS. Link is in the description. And, you support them, you support us. You support us, you take over the world. President Tom Grossi and Vice President Brandon Perna.
2028, baby. Brandon Perna, I'm so sorry. Ian Rappaport just tweeting out that Jewel, the guy you were just talking about on the Broncos, is feared to have suffered a potentially significant pec injury. He's having an MRI now to determine the specific one, but it seems like it's going to be serious.
That sucks, man. He was playing well.
I mean, even with that
Jewel in the
injury, we need linebackers right now, so we'll still take him. Tommy can't play. I know. I'm just hoping that his presence would improve.
It's Broncos have Josie Jewell and Alexander Johnson were 2 underrated linebackers. All right. Yeah. Broncos fans thought they desperately needed to draft a guy there. And both those guys play really well. And Josie Jewell had a nice season last year, but the first 2 games this year, he was looking like a difference maker. There was a quick pass that he was all over, turned into a 6-yard loss, tackled by Josie Jewell. And the special teams is where he got hurt. He just made an amazing tackle, just lit up a dude, and apparently tore his pec off his body while doing it.
By the way, Ian Rappaport spelled Josie Jewell's name incorrectly
You
and did Josie, Josie.
Oh my God.
What a scrub. This is why you turn into GPS. This is why people are turning away from media.
Yeah.
It's the only reason.
Wow.
Now, speaking of turning away from things, let's talk about the referees, because good God, I watched, because I had two games on my television yesterday. I had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with the Falcons, and I wasn't going to watch that game. It was god awful. And then I had the Chargers Cowboys, which I'm like, all right, at least that's going to be a good game. I would have watched the Vikings Cardinals, which turned out to be a great game.
But, man, that was probably the best game of the week.
But the Cowboys Chargers, 20 flags. 20. And honestly, there probably could have been more. 12 of them on the Chargers.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like with every single positive play, everyone was looking around and be like, just wait, there's a flag coming.
Oh, yeah. It became a joke by the, it was Romo and Nance calling that game. And they're just like, big surprise here. Chargers have a touchdown called back because of a penalty.
It was bad. And both fan bases that they lost that game are gonna be pissed. Like, there you go. High Altitude's not happy, saying the Chargers were robbed. I mean, there was blatant just bad officiating as well. I mean, there was like the sack on Herbert, where I'm like, how is that? Because like the thing I thought to immediately, I was like, oh, well, the Patriots win that Super Bowl against Eli Manning if they call that a sack, because Eli Manning is like swarmed by defenders, have him, and then I know, Adam. It's beautiful.
The great people of Minnesota. The great fans of Minnesota.
Just not
the Herbert.
Lakers.
So Herbert threw just a dime of a touchdown, called back because of holding. I can't remember the holding play itself. I'm just going to say it was bullshit. And then the Chargers score another touchdown that's reversed by an illegal shift. So apparently they've had a couple illegal shift penalties. Yeah. That to me is something that it's like, you got a new coach. You guys are probably trying some new stuff out on offense. You just haven't really, some of the guys don't know when they need to be set or moving or how to move. Kind of going to happen. It sucks. But it was right after that Herbert got that non-sack call. Yeah. Now, I don't know if it would have counted as grounding because he didn't get the ball back to the line of scrimmage. So maybe it's still a penalty in that situation. Sure. I'm not sure.
He might have been out because I think he ran to the left. He might have been out
of the pocket. So
because this was a conversation we had last night because people were confused, like with Patrick Mahomes running all the way back, like how is that intentional grounding? It's because the pocket goes on forever. Like it goes on for eternity within that scope. If you run to the left or the right, you're okay. But you have to get it back to the line of scrimmage if you're within the pocket. And it ruined the game. And holy crap, man, the taunting penalties all over the league. Like, I truly want to sit down and be like, why? Like, how did you think this was going to improve the game at all?
I want to sit down with John Mara, owner of the Giants, who is vocal about supporting. He was doing like the old man bit where he's like, we just kind of get tired of some of the talking you see on the field sometimes. I want to sit down with him and I want to taunt my fist into his nuts.
It's again, when it's egregious, then just throw it on sportsmanlike conduct thing. Have a nice day.
It rarely gets to that point though. Like,
and if it does,
maybe the one guy who got in, it was because Keenan Allen was flagged for taunting in the Chargers game.
Yes.
And if you're going to look at one and go, okay, maybe those two guys got into each other's face a little bit too much. I don't even like that call. But if I had to be like, okay, we'll give you one to make a point for the week. There was like 6 or 7 of these that I saw a Twitter compilation get put out.
Yep.
Of guys just like making a great play and then going like this. Flag. And the ref in the Chargers game went over, like after Keenan Allen was doing it, the ref was in his face and goes, yeah.
Yeah.
I call taunting on the referee.
I call taunting on you, sir. Listen, if Keenan Allen literally had like a flag down his pants and pulled it out and threw a flag, I'd be like, you know what? That's worth any fine ever. Like, I want that to happen now. I want a player to like protest these rules and literally start pulling out flags and throw it on the ref. He might get ejected and he will get so fined to the moon because someone got kicked out for touching a ref's hat yesterday.
Have mercy. Yeah, so the Seahawks, 10 penalties, 100 yards. The Broncos, 10 penalties, 101 yards. The Chargers, 12 penalties, 99 yards. If I missed anybody, please let me know in the comments. But that is over officiating. Like, I feel like this happens like every season in the month of September. The refs are trying to figure out what they're doing. The NFL gives them new things to emphasize, which they don't need to do. We talked about this taunting BS in the preseason. We're like, this is going to be an issue if they keep doing it.
Yep.
Week 1, there was a couple. Week 2, it got worse.
Now, I was having this conversation yesterday. So, like the controversial challenging of like pass interference and like all that stuff. Right. And like you see like these rules have been implemented and then they go away because they're just like, we have opened up Pandora's box and we never want to do that ever again. I feel like if things keep on going this way, because again, like who likes this? The players don't like this.
Literally
the fans hate it. Everything is complaining about it. Is this a 1-year rule where it's just like we toss it out and then that's it?
It's not even a new rule. It's just an emphasis on taunting. So the NFL can literally just say, let's stop doing that.
Like, let's not
like one phone call. And you're right. Nobody wants to see more taunting. In the John Mara thing, like they tried to say the NFLPA asked for the emphasis, like saying that's what the players wanted. And the NFLPA was like, no, we did not say that. We did not request this. So it's just a handful of cranky old get off my lawn jerk boys on the competition committee who are like, I don't like the extra. Like, how do we penalize players for doing the things that really drive us nuts? I hate players when they're having fun out there.
There's no fun in football. It's the no fun league. Yeah, it blew my mind. And like, this is just something, like you said, it's not a new rule, but good God, like they need to tone it down. Because right now it's like up to 11. They need to turn that son of a gun down. And again, if it's something like super duper egregious, throw it on sportsmanlike conduct, and then that's it. And you move on with your life. Yeah. That, if like they're in their face and, like Marshawn Lynch is like grabbing his balls and stuff, like, okay, sure. Like I get it.
Well, but I think the penis needs to come out of the pants for that to be a flex. I need to see flesh. I need to see Beast Mode Junior.
Like, again, they start gyrating like on the field, right? I got it. But like, it is like they make a play and they stand up and they're like, and it's like taunting. I'm like, really? I saw that. I'm sure you saw it too. There was, I don't remember who it was, but the guy who celebrated a touchdown and like he put the ball down and bowed and then just walked away. Like, he's like, they're like, this is what the NFL wants. Yeah. And like that's it. Like the Arian Foster, like, there you go, done, walk away.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the NFL cracked down on celebrations and they realized that was stupid. And then they said, okay, we're going to allow celebrations again. We're going to allow team celebrations.
And amp it up. We have cameras in the end zones now. There's full D trains that are going in, and that's not even a sexual thing. Like they like amped up the celebrations to like 1 million, and we're like, oh yeah, go out there, like do whatever you got to do. The defense is running in the end zone now.
But I swear, if you look at an opponent while you celebrate, flag. That's a flag.
It's done.
I call a flag on the NFL. Here's a question. All right, Cowboys lose week 1 to the Bucs in a game they could have won. Week 2, the most penalized team, the Chargers, the Cowboys' opponent.
Yep.
How much do you think Jerry Jones paid the NFL to throw that game?
Oh, the Venmo was it was loaded. That Venmo account was loaded. Which, by the way, I'm definitely disappointed because the best timeline would have been Scooter going 0-3 to start the season. And it would have been incredible. But now I have to wait. And I got like, they're playing the Eagles Monday night. But I was like, this is going to be the culmination of something beautiful because the Cowboys schedule is kind of easy. But Man, I was disappointed in that game. Now, I will say it was kind of like, you lose something, you gain something, because as soon as that game was over and he hits a field goal, I switch over to the Vikings game, which they're showing late, and I watch the Vikings miss the field goal. So I was like, you know what? That's much better. And I had more excitement in those 3 seconds of him missing the field goal than I did for the entirety of the Cowboys-Chargers game, because it kept getting stopped by flags.
Yeah.
And it just ruined the game.
Like, I think the refs have to be aware of that in a game where well, it was LA. Like, if there's one place, a referee is probably trying to be a star in his free time, it is Los Angeles. Everybody trying to be an actor out there. But it's like, you've got to be aware of what you're doing to the game. And I think, it's a bad officiating crew. It's like, Jerry was like, oh, man, okay, look at here, NFL. You built this brand new fancy SoFi stadium. It's better than Jerry World. My Cowboys are 0-1. I will end all of you if you don't win this game for me. And we saw the perfect team to do that against, the Chargers. They're not going to have an uprising of fans angry about their loss.
Did you see how many Cowboys fans were there? That was wild.
God. To be fair, okay, so this is something like bad officiating gets amped up in terms of the magnifying glass put on it.
Sure.
When a game is close and when one team makes some dumb mistakes that also cost them the game.
Yeah.
So like Herbert threw a bad red zone interception with 5 seconds left in the third quarter. Like the Chargers made some mistakes that cost them the game. And when that happens, when it's close like that, and there's bad officiating, it just looks like a mess. And it's not the kind of football. Like, we want to see teams lose because they suck, or make a ton of mistakes, not because
their opponent beats them. Yeah,
out of the game.
Now, Brandon Perna, I have a completely off-topic question for you.
Ready for it?
It came up yesterday because you were talking about Lamar. We'll talk about Monday night's game momentarily.
Yeah.
Just please. So Lamar Jackson ran all over the Kansas City Chiefs. Unconventional, scoring 2 touchdowns on the ground, et cetera, et cetera. There was a play last night, and I brought it up with the fan base as we were streaming it, where Lamar Jackson is running towards the sideline, stops, stiff arms the guy, then pretends to go out of bounds again, but doesn't, keeps going and gets like an extra couple yards. And I watched this, and it's not the first time this has happened, because guys like Michael Vick did this all the time. You've seen even Patrick Mahomes do this a few times. Basically, mobile QBs, they'll go to run out of bounds, and like the defender will slow up or stop, and then they'll scramble and get another couple yards, maybe even enough for a first down. Because if a defender hits that QB, it's a 15-yard penalty. Because like as they're like going out of bounds. And QBs know this because they are incredibly protected. And so they can use that to the advantage to be like, let me stop before I go out of bounds and let me get an extra yard or so. For me, it goes back to a conversation that we were having last week when you started looking at the Buccaneers game and the Cowboys game 2 weeks ago. And like how if you had that the no pass interference call, but if like the corner does that, it's a pass interference call. I truly mean this, and I know this is a topic that's talked to death, but good God, like the defense is such disadvantage here, because I feel like whether it's a corner, like and you're trying to defend something, or like going after a QB, or if it's a roughing the passer, like there's almost nothing that you could do to like actually play like good defense. And I don't blame defenses for being afraid to hit quarterbacks.
Yeah. I think Seattle got hurt by that roughing. I think they stopped Tennessee after it, but Jamaal Adams was flagged for roughing the passer.
Yeah.
And, Tannehill gets the ball away and he's kind of hit simultaneously right as he throws it. But Jamaal Adams' helmet hit Tannehill's face mask. Tannehill's getting hit 2 ways. It was not intentional, but there was contact there. Flag happens. They don't even think about it. I think it's the wrong call. And in the Broncos game, the Jaguars benefited from 2 pass interference calls. one on Kyle Fuller, one on Patrick Surtain.
Yep.
And the Broncos had like almost identical things happen when they were on offense, no flag thrown. So it's an issue of being consistent with those calls throughout a game. And the defense is at a disadvantage. Unlike the taunting emphasis makes no sense to me. But I get why the NFL does that, because people love high-scoring games.
Yes.
Like, they'll look at a messy game that turns into a good game, be like, that was a bad football game, but it ended up being great. If it's an offensive shootout where the two defenses are horrible, nobody says that's a bad football game. Nope. And everybody loves it. And that's why the NFL has tried to disable defenses.
Yes.
Like, I get it. I don't like it, but I'm a football purist.
Sure.
I'm a man. I like manly things. Like,
I get it too. People don't want to see defensive games. They think they're boring.
They hate it.
I get it, right? Especially like our casual fans. They want to see players go fast, big touchdowns, highlight reels.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Exactly. Like they want to see like a Chiefs Ravens just like going at it, two juggernaut of offenses just scoring a lot of points. And again, I get it. But at the same time, like it gets to a point where it's like, why do you even have these like positions? Like, he's like, you want the receiver to catch it. You know what I mean? Like it's because there's a line between like safety and then, like you said, like disabling the entire defense. But that's neither here nor there.
Why don't they just have two offenses playing on side to side fields and see who can score the most touchdowns over the course of 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Cut the game time in half. And no defense, one defender. It's 11 guys versus one defender.
I'd watch it. I'd still watch it.
Yeah, I probably would too. Damn it.
I would. Now, real quick before we jump to the Green Bay Packers here. There you go, Norse. Before we jump into the Monday Night Football game, I did want to ask you a question because you said on Friday, if the Denver Broncos don't blow out the Jacksonville Jaguars, you're going to be a little disappointed. And I was a little surprised to see how close that game was.
Yeah, it wasn't that close. The Broncos gave up a 102-yard kick return in the fourth quarter. Otherwise, Trevor Lawrence held to 118 passing yards. They could not run the ball against the Broncos. The Jags missed 2 field goals. Denver controlled that game. In the first half, the Broncos had a lot go against them.
Okay.
There was literally Cortland Sutton's jerseys being pulled on a would have been a touchdown had he been able to catch it. No pass interference. There was forces of nature working against them. There was interceptions that could have happened. So I do have some concerns about the Broncos that we'll see what happens when they play a good team. They get the Jets this week, so I'm not too worried yet. But the score should have been higher. I would have liked to see Teddy and the Broncos offense get to 30 points, but Teddy is good, man. Teddy is, you got to watch the whole game to really appreciate what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's escaping pressure. He's saving plays. He's not like he threw maybe 1 or 2 bad balls the entire game. He took 1 bad sack. Like, I'm just genuinely like happy that the Broncos decided to start him.
Yeah,
it's a decision I didn't agree with, but now I was wrong. I guess the Broncos coaches and GMs know more about football than me.
I guess.
I'll admit it.
But I digress.
What do we got for your Monday night game, Tom?
Yeah, buddy, we got a Monday night game with the Green Bay mother-loving Packers.
Love that shirt.
Sporting the throwback. It's the first time I wore it. It's very comfortable. Yeah, the Packers, a lot of people are expecting a big bounce back game for Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers here. There's a couple of concerns that I do have. One, of course, is Zadarius Smith being put on IR, so he's going to be out for at least 3 weeks. So that's
we didn't let his injury get right, so now we
are.
We're going to force him. Or he didn't. Like, he wanted to play, and they're like, no, let's get that thing.
So, again, there's a lot going on with Zadarius Smith. Like, there's a lot of rumors that he's very unhappy with his contract situation. He's upset that he didn't get nominated as a captain. He's one of the...
for an Emmy.
He's one of the few Packers players who's not vaccinated. Like there's things that are going on there.
Gotcha.
He's a great player though. He's our best pass rusher. So this is going to mean like you're going to see a lot more Preston Smith, who for Preston, this is great because he took a super low contract with just like a whole bunch of benchmarks. Like if he gets a certain amount of sacks, like he'll get paid a crap ton of money. So he's looking at this like, let's go make some money. And then, of course, Rashawn Gary, who a lot of Packers fans are looking at saying, like, this guy is going to have a great opportunity because he's going to be playing, like, the entire game here. Like, he's going to be playing the majority of the snaps. So I think that's a concern. On top of that, Vernon Scott is going to be out, one of our safeties. Darnell Savage is injured right now. So, like, our safety situation is not looking
very savage like.
Yeah, it's not very savage at all.
If you have the last name Savage, you can never get injured.
That is true. He really wanted to get the jersey number of 21, so he'd be 21 Savage, and I'm like, that'd be perfect. And then he like didn't get it, and I was like, that's a shame.
And then he got hurt.
Eric Stokes Go Fast got it instead. So, which is fine. Which is fine. But I think that in terms of the Packers, their pass rush, their secondary is a little concerning right now. I think they should still be able to beat the Lions. You know, Jamaal Williams coming back, who I wish nothing but the best for him.
If Jordan Love were starting, I would still think they have a pretty good shot to beat the Lions.
They're going to still be able to do it. I think that their offense should be clicking today. Like their offense.
If they made Aaron Rodgers play receiver for the entire game, I like their chances against the Lions. No offense to my hero, Dan Campbell, who I love. Oh, man, I want Dan Campbell to be a good head coach so bad. So bad. But it's like with Jared Goff back there, you have to be, I think, a very cerebral head coach, offensive-minded. Like, you have to be Sean McVay to get the most out of Jared Goff because Jared Goff's a capable quarterback, but I feel like he needs his hand held.
A lot of hand holding. Yep.
Yeah. And I don't think that's going to happen with Detroit. I think they'll be better served, drafting their next guy. Even though who knows? He's
getting paid a lot of money for the next few years.
If there's an X factor, it's going to be former Packer running back Jamaal Williams tearing his old team apart. Jamaal Williams also made the Twitter rounds this week for just another delightful press conference, calling the Packers basically like an ex-girlfriend who didn't want him anymore. I love Jamaal Williams.
I love him I miss him so much. I miss him because we just got that in Green Bay all the time.
Yeah.
And I was just like, it's beautiful. And then he left, and I was like, this is a tragedy.
Like
he's a good player.
Yeah, he's good. He's very good. He hasn't fumbled. So that's the other thing. Like him and Phillip Lindsay secure the rock.
Yep.
The Lions really need like a dominant defensive performance.
They do.
The way the Saints did to the Packers. I think they have a chance, and I don't see that happening.
Listen, I think the Packers should pull it off. But let's talk about the story that everyone wants to talk about. And that is right now in the clickbait fantasy league, I am currently beating the auto draft team. Oh yeah. Oh, now we were like, what do you want to talk about this? Oh yeah, buddy. I'm winning 156 to 108. Thank you, Derrick Henry. Now they have Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones. So it's painful for me, but I need them to not score like 48 points. That's what it comes down to.
I'm beating Tree right now, 145 to 113.
If I'm able to beat this auto draft, by the way, Scooter still has Ben DiNucci as his starting QB.
Yeah, Scooter don't care.
But as long as they hold them to like 20 points apiece, like let's get a big MVS night. Let's get a big AJ Dillon night.
Adam's going off.
That's fine. He can get 20 points. Then I just need Aaron Jones to not get 28 points. And then
they might both have big games, but I'll be rooting for you to beat auto draft. I think it's a great story. It's what America needs.
That's what I'm saying. That's what we need right now. We need to be able to defeat the auto draft, who has a godly team. By the way, Jewel, just Rappaport, he does have a torn pec. He's out for the season.
Oh, fudge.
Sorry.
That's
sorry.
Cool. But during the game yesterday when I was streaming, I said, it's crazy to say this, but the Jewel injury is like a bigger blow to this defense right now than Bradley Chubb not being in there.
Who was already injured. Yeah. I mean,
yeah, Bradley Chubb came back and then he got hurt again. So, but like the production just hasn't been there for Chubb. He can't stay healthy right now. And Jewel was doing some things to help that defense. So that sucks. That really sucks. I just want to crawl into a hole right now.
Yeah. No,
good way to end the show. Me being sad. Thanks, Tom.
So welcome, buddy. But listen,
let me crap on Scooter for a second. That'll make me feel better.
That sounds right.
During that Cowboys game, he tweeted like the Cowboys have the best offense in the NFL. And then the Cowboys have like their first game where Dak doesn't throw for 400 yards.
Yeah.
It's a low scoring game.
Yep.
So you cursed your own team, Scooter. You cursed them.
That's it.
All right. We did it.
We did it. We made it through another show. We did it again. Folks, I want to thank you because we got real close to having 2,000 people in here. It was right there. I was watching it the entire time. We got to like
1900. And
we got like 1960. And I was like, come on, just get over it.
But pornographers showed up strong. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. So, folks, listen, I appreciate you. We know it's early in the morning, but it's a great way to start your day. So we appreciate all the support and the love and the donos and the talking in there, the liking of the thumbsing up and all that great stuff.
We want 10,000 live viewers every day. Every 3 days we do this.
That's it.
We're coming after a certain sports media figure who shall remain nameless.
Oh, you're talking about blocked. But folks, appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you.
We'll be back on Wednesday because I gotta be honest, power rankings is going to be a nightmare this week.
Oh my god,
it got shuffled up hard.
Don't forget to compare Tom and I's power rankings.
And there's going to be arguments, but
pull out those power rankings and compare them.
We went like 40 minutes talking about them on Wednesday. We're going to go like the whole show. It's just like nothing else. It's just power rankings. Make sure you check those both out. They'll be out tomorrow on each of our channels. But folks, appreciate you watching. I'll be streaming tonight, of course, the Monday Night Football. We'll get the NFC West episode out today, and we'll do AFC West tomorrow.
Wow.
That's it.
Busy man. I've got best and worst coming up on my channel and the Broncos recap. So
your favorite video to edit.
Oh, God.
I hate those videos. They're terrible. They're terrible. They do well, but they're terrible.
Oh, man, they tough. All right, see you guys.